First reading of the bill.
Holly Walker.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. I'm proud to rise to support this bill along with my colleagues and the cross-party support that it has received. And I think it's fair to say that the Green Party wholeheartedly endorses this bill, not just in a grudging way. It represents the culmination of work over a number of years, especially by our co-leader Materia Ture, to bring greater transparency to MP salaries and entitlements. And the Green Party has, I think, set the agenda for this for quite a long time now by voluntarily releasing our expenses and entitlements and publicly encouraging other parties to do the same, so that has now been adopted as standard practice. Mr Speaker, taking decisions out of the hands of MPs about entitlements will be good for transparency and good for the reputation of this House. We need to deliver a remuneration system that is simple, that is clean and that is fair. And we need changes that the public can have confidence in. It's our responsibility to live up to the standards, I think, expected of parliamentarians and to improve the perception of Parliament. And my colleague Gareth Hughes touched on this earlier. We don't have a great reputation in this place, and it's very important that we do what we can to improve that perception and live up to those standards. And as my colleague Catherine Delahunty said yesterday in a different debate, in many ways actually we here as MPs, funded by the taxpayer, are beneficiaries, and we have to ensure that we are serving the public well and giving them value for money. I have heard the view expressed to explain perhaps why this change is so long in coming, that people outside of this House who don't understand the knowledge of the procedures in here or what's expected of MPs won't be in a good position to make decisions about MPs' entitlements. And I fundamentally reject that argument, Mr Speaker. I think if that's the case, then it's our fault as MPs that what we do in here is not well understood, and we need to make sure that everything we do is bringing greater transparency and an accountability into this House. So to briefly cover what the bill does, most travel and accommodation entitlements for MPs and ministers will now be set by the Remuneration Authority rather than the Speaker or the Minister responsible for ministerial services, and we support that. The current voluntary disclosure for MPs' travel and accommodation expenses will become a statutory requirement, and we think that's a direct result of the Green Party's voluntary leadership and disclosure on this in 2009, and we're greatly in support of that. And the amount that can be deducted from MP salaries for non-attendance will increase from the ludicrous $10 a day to 0.2% of MP's salary, or $270 a day for most ordinary members of Parliament. We're absolutely in favour of that as well. We've consistently called for an independent body to have control over MPs' entitlements and pay, and so handing over some responsibility to the Remuneration Authority is absolutely a step in the right direction. It seems to me, Mr Speaker, very clear that travel entitlements for MPs should be for work-related purposes only, and that is how we in the Green Party choose to apply this rule. I think it's very dangerous to mix travel entitlements up with remuneration, including the international travel subsidy. Travel is not a form of remuneration, and it should not be treated as such. So it's good that this decision will now be in the hands of the independent authority. I want to thank the contributions from members from other parties, including those who will be considering this bill at the Government Administration Committee. As a member of that committee, I look forward to considering it. I think it's fair to say we will be giving it due attention and dealing with it as swiftly as we can. But I also want to thank Louise Upston for her contribution just now to say there won't be a motion curtailing the process for this. I think it's absolutely right that it has the full, transparent and democratic process that we accord to other bills. So, Mr Speaker, I'm very proud to stand in support of this bill from the Green Party, and I look forward to a constructive debate and consideration and hearing of submissions at the Government Administration Committee.
The question is that the motion be agreed to. Those of that opinion will say aye. Contrary, no. The ayes have it.
Members of Parliament Remuneration and Services Bill, first reading.
The question is that the Members of Parliament Remuneration and Services Bill be considered by the Government Administration Committee. Those of that opinion will say aye. Contrary, no. The ayes have it. The Junior Government Whip indicated the next motion would not be put, so we go to Government Order of the Day number 2.